Hello friends, welcome back. We are studying data rendering in jQuery data tables. So we already saw the concepts related to this in the previous video. So if you are not aware of that part, my suggestion is to watch that previous video first, then only you can understand this. So this video will cover some extra things related to data rendering. So as you can see here, we are going to render a checkbox in the jQuery data table, as well as we are going to render hyperlinks, or you can say an anchor tag. And one more thing I'm going to show you here. Basically, here we are displaying the full name in our column, but in the database or in our collection, it is separated into the two different columns, that is first name and last name. But here, while rendering it into the data tables, we are going to show the full name. Okay, so let us see how to implement this. So here I have already added a table named as student in my database MyDB. Okay, previously we worked on course table. Here I added one more table, student, and these are the required fields, and I added a data for the tables also. Okay, as you can see here, the first name and last names are stored differently, but while rendering we are going to display it in a single column. So let us switch to Visual Studio. Here I am using the same application that we are using from last few videos, that is Learn jQuery data table. Okay, so here I updated my EDMX file since I have added a student table in my database. So to update your model with a database changes, what you have to do, just right click over here in this empty area and you have to say update model from the database, and then after you have to follow the steps of wizard. Basically I have already added the table, that's why it is not showing the table name, otherwise it would show it. So this particular part is updated. Similarly, once you save this EDMX file, what happened, your student entity class also get added. Okay, again I have already added a student controller also. I hope all of you are familiar with this, because here we are mainly focusing on how to render the things, not on MVC related part. Okay, so student controller is also added. So as you can see here, there is one index method. This load data method is called by our jQuery data table, and this method is subsequently calling the get students method. We have MyDB entities class, which is representing our DB context class, which is nothing but our database. Okay, so here I am returning the student details, and then after we are collecting it in a IEnumerable collection, and to return it into the JSON form, what I did, we have to assign the student records or student list to this data column, okay, or data attribute. Then after we have to assign this record filter attribute with a total number of records in our collection, and similarly to this records total we have to assign the count. Okay, basically for the purpose of simplicity I avoid the searching, sorting and pagination related part that we have already studied in a previous video, so you can include it. Now you know it, right? Now let us switch to the view. So I'll say go to view. Okay, so here also I have added the table tag, table head tag. Okay, currently I am displaying roll number, first name, last name, gender, contact number and email ID. So currently we are displaying first name and last name differently. Okay, so as you can see here, we are giving call to the load data method that we wrote here, which is returning the JSON result, right? So Ajax call will be given. So this is nothing but column configuration, means how will be the width. Okay, basically which column you are targeting, which starts from 0. Since I didn't implement the ordering or sorting related part, I set this orderable attribute to false. Okay, then here we bind our JSON data to data table. Basically JSON data is nothing but the data from our database. Okay, so this is nothing but a binding with our column. So here you can keep the name same, means data name and name attribute can be same. Let me differentiate here. This is my first name and this is my last name. Okay, so initially what we will do, we will first of all check the output of this and then after we'll start modifying it. Okay. So this is our output. Okay. So you can remove this filtering related part and pagination related part. But again, I'll repeat, we are not going to focus on this. We are going to focus on rendering related part. Okay. So basically in the first column, I want to render a checkbox. Then this first name and last name should appear as a single full name in a one column. Then we are going to display gender as, if it is M then we are going to display male, if it is F then we are going to display female. And here as a last column, okay, we want to show the edit and delete link. Okay, so let us work on it. So in view and in this columns attribute we have to do this. Okay, now here as I told you, we want to display first name and last name as a single full name. So let me remove this column. Okay, now remember, now we have only 5 columns, so we have to arrange this particular part also. Okay, now let it be full name, main data will be full name, and then here we have to write render attribute, and to this render attribute I have to specify the function. That function will accept 3 arguments. First one is actual data that we binded, then type of data, and then after information of a full row. Okay, basically data shows the value of a single column. But now as I told you, here we want to display first name as well as last name. So how you will get that last name? You will get that last name through this row argument, because this row going to contain an entire record or entire row. So here again we know that we have to return a string. So in data you will get a first name, right? So here I'll say data, then I'll use concat. For concatenation here we have to use plus sign, then I'll specify the space, and then after I want to retrieve the last name. Okay, so if you check our student class, how last name is represented? It is represented like this. So same property name we have to use here. Okay, but just you have to specify it like this, row of last name. That's it. Okay, so in this way you can access the value of other columns in the same row. That's it. Now similarly, how I want to display the gender? Initially, now currently we are displaying the gender as M and F in abbreviated form. Now I want to show it as male and female depending on the value. So here also I have to write a render attribute. So to render attribute, I have to specify the function. Now here I'm not going to do with anything with data, type and row. So I can just specify the data argument. This is possible in jQuery or JavaScript. So if data is equal to M. In database we are storing it in the capital letter. That's why I'm comparing with a capital M. Then we have to return male. Here also you can use either single quote or double quote, do not matter. Similarly, if it is not M, then definitely it is going to be F. So here I'll say return female. Okay, so we're done with this part, and as I told you, we just remove one column. So let me remove this column also, otherwise it will not map correctly. So here I'll just put a name. Similarly, I have to remove one column from here. because we remove the last name column, right? So let us switch to browser and let us refresh the page. My application is in the running state, and in the running state I can make a changes in a view. Okay, so let us refresh it and we'll check the output. I hope you can see this. Okay, now Mark would appear as a single full name, Kate Howard, Sam Curran. Okay, and here my gender value get displayed in a full form. Okay, so this is one part that we learn here, how to access a value of other column in the same row. Okay, definitely we have to use a render attribute, and we have to use the argument row or any argument, whatever name you have given, you have to use any argument name along with a key or the name of that particular column in a double quote. Okay, let us switch to Visual Studio. So I hope it is clear now how to use a value of other columns. Definitely you have to use this third argument with any name. Okay, just for the readability purpose we named it as row, and you are already familiar with this part because we already studied this in the last video. Now next we want to display or we want to render a hyperlink and checkbox. Okay, so I want to display a checkbox as a first column which do not have any heading. So let me put it first. Okay, so this will not have any heading, that's why it is empty. Then here let me put a respective column for it. Okay, so here I have to just specify, instead of 0 here it will be 1, then 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, now to that checkbox, see checkbox is a input tag, so to that checkbox I have to assign some value. So let that value as a roll number. Okay, means that whenever I click or check on that checkbox, its value will be the roll number. So let us put it here. So this will be my first column, so that's why I say data. Then which data you want to bind here, roll number. Then specify a name to this column. Oh, okay, it should be in a double quote or single quote, remember this thing. And name will be say CHK roll number. Okay, I want to render it as checkbox. So render, assign a function to it, data. Again I'm not going to do with anything with type and row, so that's why I'm not going to mention it. That's it. Here you have to return a string which will be your HTML tag for checkbox. Okay, so here I have to say input type is equal to checkbox, then you have to assign a ID and name. So ID is the attribute. Okay, here I should enclose with double quote, then ID attribute. So ID say RNOs. Okay, since these are multiple roll numbers, that's why RNOs. Then name, again I'll assign the same name, that of IDs. And what will be the value? Value is equal to the roll number. Okay, so here double quote starts and my roll number is in data argument. So let me complete this single quote, then plus sign, then data. Okay, again plus, then I have to enclose this double quote and my input tag get closed. Okay, that's it. Now as we know, whenever we are using client-side scripting, we have to specify the ID attribute also. Okay, and many times your ID attribute value and name attribute value matches, means this should be same. Okay, So we're done with this part now. So let us check the output in the browser, but first of all let me save this because we did a changes here. So here I am switching to browser and just refresh it. Okay, so I hope you can see this. So the checkbox get rendered, and let us inspect this so you can observe the value of it. See, what is the value? Value is 1. If you check the value of next or some other checkbox, see it is 6. So basically it bind it to the roll number. So it's definitely your requirement to which value you want to bind it. So depending on that, you can specify your data column. Okay. So let me switch to Visual Studio. So as you can see here our data is binded with roll number. Okay. So this data we are showing here, or we are assigning the value of data to the checkbox value. So here it's your choice to which value you want to bind, and depending on that you can assign that value to your checkbox. Okay, basically you have to fetch the value of this checkbox through jQuery or client-side scripting. Okay, otherwise it is of no use. Definitely when you access its value, then only it is available to you. And since we have given the same name to all the checkbox, you can get these values in a comma separated form. Okay, so as you can see here, we have assigned same name RNOs or same ID to all the checkbox. Okay, so whichever checkbox you will select, you can get it in the comma separated form. So remember this thing, but you have to fetch this value through client-side scripting, or basically I'll say through jQuery. Okay. Now let us move on. We are going to render one more column, and it is in the form of hyperlink. So let me add one more column here for in the heading. So say action means edit or delete whatever action you are going to take. Similarly, let me render the one more column here. Say now it is last column. I hope these values matches. So 2020. Okay, so this is 80, and basically I have to set it to, let us set it to 15. So addition will be 100. So just make sure that addition is 100. Now as a last column I want to render it. So here I'll say data, and again I want to use roll number here. That's why I'll bind this with a roll number property, a roll number attribute of my JSON data. Then name will be, say link. It can be any name of your choice, but try to give a readable name. And then after we have to specify the render attribute. So to render attribute, we know that we have to specify the function. Again, I am going to use the first argument only. That's why I am not going to define the next two arguments. So that's it. So as we render a checkbox, here we have to render the hyperlink. Okay. So that means we have to specify the anchor tag. So let us say return anchor tag. Suppose you want to give a tooltip. So in that case, you can use title. So I'll say edit. Okay, if you are specifying the icon instead of name, then definitely you can go with title attribute. Then next important argument is href, where you specify the action method that you want to execute when this link get clicked. So in MVC we specify it with the help of url.action, right? And that action belongs to student controller, so it is not necessary to specify the controller name because we are in the same view of a student controller. Basically this index view belongs to the student controller only. So if you are in the student controllers view, then it is not necessary to specify the controller name. So say I want to switch to edit action method. Okay, to that edit action method, I want to specify or I want to pass the ID or roll number. Okay, so that's why we bind this data with a roll number. Okay, so I'll say slash here, then plus sign. Okay, let me enclose this. This will enclose here, single quote enclose here, then plus sign. Then after I have to specify the data. Then again plus sign, single quote get start here. Then this double quote get terminated. Okay, then anchor tag, opening anchor tag get close here. Then I have to specify the edit text and then closing anchor tag, right? And in the same way, I want to specify the delete link also in the same column. So what will I do? I'll again concatenate it. So just for the purpose of readability, what I did, I put it in the next row. So A, again title is optional, it's your choice. If you are using the icon, then only use it, otherwise it is not necessary. Then href is equal to @url dot action, and say we have a delete action method. Okay, then slash, to this delete action method I want to pass roll number which is available to us through this data argument. Okay, so here I'll say data, then plus, so just close this double quote, then opening anchor tag get close, then the text that we want to display, that is delete, and then closing anchor tag. Done. Okay, now save it. Okay, and let us check it. Okay, it is available to us. Okay, basically what you can do, you can put a space here. So what will I do? Instead of space, I'll just put a vertical bar. So it will be more readable to us. Again, I'll save this and again we will check. Something went wrong. Let us check it. Here I forgot to give a plus sign again because we are concatenating the string, right? So let us check it again. Yes, we can say this. Again, if you look at to the left bottom corner, just please observe left bottom corner. In left bottom corner, you can view the URL, that is localhost colon 54936 slash student slash edit slash 1. Now I am on the second link, so it is showing edit slash 4. Okay, similarly for the delete also. Okay, so what will I do? I'll just take a screenshot of this and I'll point it there. Okay, so see, when you click on this edit or delete link in left bottom corner, okay, of your browser screen or of your browser window, you can view this kind of URL. So edit slash 4. Okay, 4 is nothing but a roll number. Okay, what we did, we binded data with roll number, and then after with anchor tag we are concatenating this data. So basically in MVC this is root parameter, this is not a query string. Remember this thing. How you specify the query string? Query string will be something like this: edit question mark roll number is equal to 4. That is query string, but this is what? Root parameter. Now you can write a edit method, okay, or edit action method in your controller. Then you can collect this parameter and redirect the user to that particular view, okay, or whatever the view written by your edit action method. So I'll just show you. So I'm stopping the application here. So we will move to student controller. Here we have to write a edit method, edit action method, which will also return the view. So that's why I keep a return type as a view result. Let us name our method as edit, because there also we mentioned the edit. And here I have to specify the argument that will collect whatever there is in the root parameter. Now the parameter name, I have to specify ID. Now why ID only? Why can't I say roll number or RNO? Definitely you can say it, but for that purpose what we have to do, in our root config file, which is in app start folder. Okay, here there is already ID parameter defined, ID root parameter is defined. You have to define one more root where you can specify RNO or roll number, whatever parameter you want to collect it as a root parameter, you can mention it here. Then only you can collect it by slash, means how our link appears now, edit /4 or edit /1. Okay, so if you want to collect that root parameter, that name should appear in the root config file, otherwise it will not work. For the detailed understanding of routing, you can watch the routing video in MVC tutorial playlist. I'll specify the link of that video in a description below. So purposely I have given the ID name or name of the argument. Okay. Now say return view. Okay. Now again, for the purpose of simplicity, I'm not going to adding any complexity here. We are just displaying a plain view which is not having anything. It is an empty view. Basically what we have to do, we have to find this ID in a database. Then we have to collect that model. Then we have to pass this model to the view, and through strongly typed model, we have to render all the contents on the view. So, but again, we are not interested in that part. I have already explained these things in MVC related tutorial. Okay, so that's it. So we did with this. Similarly, actually you can add a code for it, and similarly you can write a delete method also. So currently I'm not going to write a delete method. So whatever name you have given here, right? This is delete, this is edit, the same name you have to use here. Or otherwise, whatever name you have given here for edit and delete, you have to give the same name here. Okay. So let us check this. Let us observe the output. Okay. So I'm clicking over here. But what happened? We did one mistake. We didn't add a edit view. So let me add that view, and then we will debug it also. Okay. So here I have to right click over action method and then say add view. The name of view is going to be edit. So this view get added, and let us put a caption here, say student edit. Okay. No more other things will appear here. And then here I'll put a breakpoint. Okay. So let us execute it again. So I hope you can see the output. Now I'm clicking over here. See, let us check the value of ID. ID is 5. And just try with another name rather than ID. You will find that there will be an error. Okay. So for that, as I told you, you have to make a changes in root config file. You have to add one more root. Let us run it. See, student edit. I'll just move backward. Now the ID is what? 7. So whatever the roll number we have, that roll number you will get it here. Okay. So that's it with data rendering. I hope you enjoy this, and if you have any suggestion, doubts or comment, you can definitely write it into the comment section. Thank you for watching.